In today's Neville Goddard conversation, I would like to discuss with you how to be established in your desired reality. How to be established in your desired reality. See, everything appears as you are. Some might just know who they are, and so they don't desire to be who they are. They just remain as they are. But that's okay. No shame, no condemnation. Desire points to fulfillment or knowing who you are. So what do we desire? We desire to know/be as we are. Lately, we've been discussing that you are already that which you desire to be. You already have what you desire. Mark 11:24. Pray as though ye have received it, whatsoever things ye desire. Have received it, as in you already have it. So, who do you desire to be? What do you desire to have other than yourself? Doesn't make any sense. Which is why it states in Matthew 6:33, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Exodus 3:14 states, and God said unto Moses, I am that I am. Thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. So, God's name in the Bible is I am. I am is the presence of God. That still I am presence is the presence of God. As the individual abides as that still I am presence, there are no thoughts of lack or limitation. Thus, they can be as they are, beyond limitation. They know who they are, beyond limitation. This is why I titled the mind map, Everything Appears as You Are. And by that it is meant specifically, being as you are, beyond limitations, beyond thoughts of lack, beyond limitations of what the individual may relate to the body, the world, people, environment, circumstance, information. One of the ways that I like to articulate this is using this modified version of the Robert Dilts logical levels. So this is a way of conceptually making sense of what I was saying, that you are already that, pointing to the fact that that pure awareness, that still I am presence, is all that you desire. It represents everything in perfect harmony, and you are already that. And as you abide as you are, naturally, what appears is what he talks about here. Denying the evidence of the senses and appropriating the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the way to the realization of your desire. So, denying the evidence of the senses can sound like a force-based thing to do. Like I'm trying to ignore things, and that can seem very troubling and force-based, and that is not what I teach. What I teach is that you naturally deny the evidence of the senses. By that it is meant, you do not identify with limitations. You are not the thoughts of lack. You are not the thoughts of disharmony. You cannot be. As you are aware of whatever thoughts appearing in mind, you know that you are transcendent to these thoughts. Thus you are prior to these thoughts. And as you abide as you are, the fragrance of you is happiness or peace or fulfillment or love or bliss. Love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, that is you. And a way we can describe who we are is those words. So another way of saying this is what the individual desires is to know and be as they are. They are already that: love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. They found it as that still I am presence, the presence of God. And that presence is undeniable. It is also everlasting love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. It is eternal love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. It is the never-ending love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. You can always not identify with thoughts of limitation. You are that pure awareness, witnessing all these things. And as you abide as you are, that pure awareness, naturally, without trying, you deny the evidence of the senses. And by that it is meant, again, specifically, the interpretations of what appears. So, the Robert Dilts logical levels. On the bottom layer, we have environment, then we have behaviors, then we have capabilities, we have values and beliefs, we have identity, we have vision. And then what I did to modify this is I put this I on the top. This is you. You are that pure awareness, and your real nature is bliss. Where do you experience bliss apart from consciousness? Where do you experience happiness apart from consciousness? Where do you experience peace apart from consciousness? Where do you experience joy, fulfillment apart from consciousness? These are words that we use to describe the feeling of who we are. So, you are already that which you desire to be. You are that pure awareness, that still I am presence, witnessing consciousness bliss. And the mind is renewed in the presence of God. Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, perfect, and pleasing will. So the good, perfect, and pleasing will implies that you are already that which you desire to be. And we can say it this way: God, the self, desire, fulfillment are one. There is no separation. Here you are, witnessing all these things, appearing to transform to be in perfect harmony, or to reflect the being you are. How do you know who you are? Well, right now, you are witnessing this conversation happen. What is appearing to you is environments. Maybe this is being through the individual mind related to from beliefs or values and beliefs. I believe it, I don't believe it, here's why I believe it, here's why I don't believe it, interpreting it in mind. No shame, no condemnation. This is what's going on in the individual's mind. Values and beliefs are being brought to awareness, and the individual may also be looking through this world through the lens of their personal identity. You are prior to the personal identity because this personal identity transforms. You don't change. You are that still I am presence that is witnessing this entire phenomena of this world, including the phenomena of mind. The phenomena of mind, which within mind we have the personal identity, we have the values and beliefs, and the manifestations of identification play out as the evidence of the senses that seems to deny that you are already that, yet doesn't actually deny. It's just an illusion. The illusion is generated by mind. The illusion of resistance, something standing in your way, is generated by mind. But that's not a problem. Abiding as you are, that still I am presence. You are that pure awareness. Your real nature is consciousness bliss. And why do we say consciousness bliss? Well, inspired by the Vedic sages, Sat Chit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. I am existing as consciousness bliss. So it's not three separate things. It's the same thing. Satchit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. You exist as consciousness bliss. It's only the limitations which are perceived in mind that suggest you are not that. And so that's okay. A desire emerges so that you can know who and be as you are. The desire emerges to point to truth, that you are that pure awareness, witnessing all these things. And desire points to the truth that you are that you desire to be, in whatever shape or form, harmonious relationship, business, etc., which we can call symbols of your fulfillment. Those are symbols. All these things in this world here, the individual desires to know and be as they are. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So in heaven, this abstract, it's not a concept, but we can look at it for a moment like it was a concept. Seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things shall be added unto you. We can look at the kingdom as a concept. Yet, that kingdom is beyond any concept in mind. That kingdom is that still I am presence. So again, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. That still I am presence is upright at all times. It is the top of the pyramid. It is the eyewitness in heaven, witnessing all these things appearing to transform, to reveal heaven on earth. It appears that way. And it actually appears that way without resistance, as it is only the resistance in mind that is generating the resistance in the body. So mind is purified in the presence of God. By not conforming, it could sound like a forceful thing to do. By denying the evidence of the senses, it could sound like a force-based thing to do. You naturally deny the evidence of the senses. You naturally appropriate the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You naturally witness all these things, spontaneously reflect who you are. You naturally witness your desire spontaneously appearing as it is who you are. You also, if you imagine, you naturally imagine yourself being fulfilled. So for the individual, through identification, and by that is meant identification to particular evidence of the senses through interpretation. Consider it this way. Power just is. This world just is. It only appears to be in conflict with the individual based on interpretation in mind, which the individual can identify with. And so to successfully deny the evidence of the senses without force or frustration, we can say it this way, return to the source. And you can do nothing to return to the source. By that it is meant you are that pure awareness already witnessing all these things appearing. And not only are they appearing, they're appearing to transform, to reflect the being you are. You let it happen. Let's say it's conversation with people. What you say, what you don't say, what you do, what you don't do naturally happens without resistance. I trust you've noticed this. As you abide as you are, without identification, you naturally deny the evidence of the senses. You're not trying to ignore the person in front of you. You naturally abide in that feeling of being as you are. Yes, in the body, it manifests as emotional relatability to that feeling. We could say, I feel happy, love, peace, bliss, fulfillment. Yet, prior to that is you already being that which you desire to be. And the fragrance of you, the natural fragrance of you, we can point to as the feeling of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, which manifests as thoughts or emotions or body, because the feeling that Neville refers to, and he brought this up in one of his lectures, he said, when I speak of feeling of the wish fulfilled, I do not mean emotion, but the acceptance of the fact that it is fulfilled. Accept the fact that it is fulfilled. That could sound like a force-based thing to do. Force yourself to feel this or that. Desire points to fulfillment. You are that pure awareness, witnessing all these things, appearing to be in perfect harmony. All these things appearing to transform, to reflect who you are, which is that perfect fulfillment. As you abide as you are in the silence, what naturally permeates the mind and body? The thoughts of, as articulated in Philippians 4:8, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are lovely and of good rapport. If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think upon these things. If thoughts arise, those are the thoughts that arise from the silence. What naturally manifests is what we can point to emotionally and say, fulfillment-based emotions. The individual is saying that this is what they emotionally feel. This is how they emotionally relate. Yet, they're not trying to conjure up those emotions. They naturally happen, abiding as you are. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is prior to what appears in the body as the emotions which the individual can say these emotions mean. Feeling of the wish fulfilled is acceptance of the fact that your wish is fulfilled. Let's explore it like this. Can you deny the fact that you are already that you already have, that you already are in the silence? What person is there in mind suggesting lack, limitation, not being in the silence? In the silence, you accept the fact that you are already fulfilled. In the silence, what naturally emerges are those thoughts, as mentioned, Philippians 4:8, and emotional regulation or emotional harmony, which we can point to and say fulfillment-based, etc. What also happens in the silence, there's no worries about environment, behaviors, capabilities. Also, mind purification happens. As mentioned, in the presence of God, mind is purified. Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the patterns of this world. You do not conform to the patterns of this world. It's not like you're trying to not conform to the patterns of this world. You are literally beyond conformity. Does that still I am presence conform to limitations? No, it does not. It is the top of the pyramid, as I said. It is that awareness, witnessing consciousness bliss. It's only the individual in their mind that can place limitations. And these limitations distort reality or generate resistance in environments, in conversations with people, etc. During particular activities on their day-to-day initiatives or while skill cultivation. And all that is the result of identification to particular thoughts in mind. So what naturally happens in the presence of God, in the silence, is mind is purified. Those thoughts are no longer appearing in mind and thus no longer identified with. If they appear in mind, in the silence, it is so obvious that they do not represent you. In the silence, what naturally emanates are the thoughts of harmony, Philippians 4:8. The feeling of already being that which you desire to be, the feeling of fulfillment. And so, any thoughts that suggest otherwise, it's so obvious that it does not represent you. They are not accurate representations of you. And any kind of appearances, like environment, behavior, capabilities, are not worried about. You don't worry about the environments. You don't worry about behaviors. You don't worry about capabilities. The environments naturally transform. The behaviors naturally transform. The capabilities naturally transform. That's what I mean by Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So there you are, in heaven, witnessing consciousness bliss, your real nature, as only in consciousness can you experience what you can call symbols of bliss, or symbols of happiness, or symbols of peace, or symbols of love, or symbols of fulfillment. You are already that love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. And it is also articulated in the various scriptures of the world. Yet you don't need the scriptures of the world to tell you who you are. You don't need me to tell you who you are. You don't need this world to tell you who you are. You know you are that in the silence. You are that pure awareness, witnessing consciousness bliss, witnessing consciousness happiness, as mentioned earlier, Satchit Ananda. Ananda, which is a Sanskrit word for bliss, which is where you hear me talk about being in flow state, which, by the way, flow state is a natural result of knowing/being as you are. So while in flow state, there's a neurotransmitter that's released called anandamide. Anandamide is naturally released in flow. And you can be in flow doing what you love to do, whatever flow-based activity. For me, for example, it's snowboarding. Or you can also experience anandamide being released in meditation as you abide in the silence by doing nothing. That's what I meant by doing nothing. Doing nothing does not mean physically force yourself to do nothing. It does not mean force yourself to deny the evidence of the senses. Force yourself to feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. These things are the natural results of abiding as you are. And so you do nothing to know who you are in the silence. What are you doing in the silence? You're abiding in the silence. What remains is you in perfect harmony. And you witness all these things. And also being in the silence, being still, another way of saying it. It doesn't mean the only way to be in the silence is to sit in a quiet room in stillness. You can be in the silence while going for walks, while doing the things you love to do, or whatever it is. Because you are eternally still. You are that pure awareness. You abide in the silence eternally. You are that pure awareness, witnessing consciousness bliss as your real nature. And it manifests as what you do, what you don't do, what you say, what you don't say, all these things appearing to change. I don't do it. God does everything. This is the play of God. So you witness the play of God. Now all these things appear to transform, and that which is generating the resistance in mind dissolves. In the presence of God, mind is purified. Those thoughts do not represent you. They are not accurate representations of you. If that which appears through the senses seems to deny, but that's illusory, because who's to suggest that it denies? It's only a thought if the individual identifies with that suggests denying. Like, this person said this to me. For example, in business, this person said this to me. This means that I am not good enough, or something like that, which is an illusory thought. The person said what they said. It does not deny the fact that you are already that. You know you are already that in the silence. You know you are already that in the stillness. If you imagine anything in relation to the person, in relation to environment, in relation to behaviors, in relation to capabilities, you naturally imagine from the premise of truth, knowing who you are. So, as he said, when I speak of the feeling of the wish fulfilled, I do not mean emotion. Why this is key is a person may think, what about these emotions? I don't feel emotionally that I am joy, happiness, peace, bliss. That is not what is being referred to. It means you are that already. It naturally manifests. The fragrance of being is love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. So you can manifest what you desire, and you can still experience whatever kind of emotions. To prove the point, in my life personally, I've applied this information, you may know my story, since 2004 through a book called Think and Grow Rich. Every definite chief aim, which he said are desires that you imagine exist in whatever form, you are already that. He said it in his way, Neville says it in his way, I say it in my way. You are already that. So a desire emerges. Thank you, I have. Mark 11:24. Pray as though you have received it. You have it. And some way, somehow it plays out. Now, along the way, emotions may be experienced in this way or that way, arise, subside, thoughts may appear, they disappear, sometimes they may be identified with, yet the end result still happens. It's because beyond the emotions, beyond the thoughts, beyond the appearances, you are already that. You already accepted the fact that you are that. Desire arises, thank you, I have. According to Mark 11:24, you can pray. Pray as though you have received, in whatever shape or form. You can pray in whatever format that you like. As after the prayer or during the prayer, you know that you are already that. Lately we've been saying you can do nothing. You are that pure awareness, witnessing consciousness bliss, consciousness happiness, consciousness peace. And all these things appear accordingly. Environments, behaviors, capabilities appear to transform, including the mind purification, Romans 12:2. Not conforming to the patterns of this world, you experience what I refer to as the flow-based journey. The flow-based journey, everything appears to flow. So, thus, denying the evidence of the senses, appropriating the feeling of the wish fulfilled to the realization of your desire happen naturally in flow. And flow is the natural manifestation of abiding as that still I am presence, witnessing all these things appearing to be in harmony. The natural result is environments appear to transform. I don't do it. God does the work. I can of myself do nothing. The Father within doeth the work. Behaviors may appear to transform. Capabilities may appear to transform. Values and beliefs and personal identity appears to transform. All those things happen naturally as a result of being as you are, as you know that you are that still I am presence prior to all these things appearing, which includes the phenomena of this world and the mental phenomena and the emotional phenomena, because you've already accepted the fact that the wish is fulfilled. Desire points to fulfillment. Desire means having, or desire means being. As mentioned, desire, intention, God, fulfillment, the self are one. There is no separation. If the individual identifies with thoughts of limitation, that's okay. Identification can be released by knowing that you are that which witnesses these thoughts in mind, witnesses all these things in perfect harmony, as in you are already that in perfect harmony. You are that still I am presence that is prior to, needs nothing, for you are eternally fulfilled. The everlasting love, happiness, peace is the peace of God. That still I am presence, which is prior to all these things, which is the source of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment for no apparent reason or beyond reason. How do you know? Well, do you need a reason as you are abiding as that still I am presence in the silence to feel that you are that love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, or an external condition to be met in order to determine that you are that? Or only after this external appearance appears this way, that way, then I can be love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment? It's clearly illusory in the silence. So, thus, everything is appearing to reflect the being you are. Desire points to fulfillment. Abiding in that still I am presence the experience can be also described as desireless. As the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. So there is no want. You abide as you are, and everything spontaneously happens. Emotions regulate, arise, subside. Without trying to get rid of the thoughts appear to disappear, the thoughts of disharmony. Without trying to deny the evidence of the senses, you are unaffected by the appearances. And this multiplies more so as mind is purified as a result of abiding as you are, as mentioned with the Robert Dill's logical levels. There you are in the top of the pyramid as pure awareness, witnessing consciousness bliss. Witnessing all these things appear to transform. You have a vision or the desire emerged, and you imagine yourself naturally from the point of knowing who you are. You naturally imagine yourself to be that which you desire to be, to have what you desire. So you know that you are that. Acceptance of the fact that it is fulfilled. Beyond the thoughts, beyond the emotions. Now, everything appears to transform as a result. Body appears to flow, emotions regulate, thoughts appear to be more in relation to Philippians 4:8. All these things appear to transform environments, behaviors, capabilities in flow. You remain as you are, and body naturally flows. Everything naturally flows. Physically in the body, physical transformations occur. As mentioned, Anandamide is released. The Sanskrit word for bliss is Ananda. But Ananda can also be translated into peace, happiness, joy. That's why I say you are love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. For desire points to the fact that you are that already. You know that you are that in the silence. You, in the silence, naturally imagine yourself to be that which you desire to be, to have what you desire, which are symbols of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, which means you are already that. Pure awareness. Again, that could sound very abstract. You are that pure awareness, witnessing consciousness bliss. So for the individual, they desire to be that, know what that looks like. So a desire emerges. What does that look like? If I am that, which I feel in the silence, as consciousness bliss, happiness, peace, fulfillment, what does that look like? A desire emerges to experience that in life. You are here to experience the fruits of God. You have found the kingdom. Seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things will be added onto you. That kingdom, again, that could sound very abstract, is the still I am presence. Abiding as that still I am presence, you naturally imagine what the kingdom looks like. Or you may not imagine what the kingdom looks like consciously. Yet the feeling of the kingdom can be described as love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. You naturally feel that you are fulfilled as you are fulfilled. Congratulations, you have found the kingdom. You are completely fulfilled. Now, things appear to spontaneously reflect the feeling. As they emerge, it could be friendships, relationships, business dealings, life experiences, etc. We can say, oh yeah, that's love, that's happiness, that's peace, that's bliss, that's fulfillment. Having seek first and found the kingdom within, the kingdom of God and his righteousness. Righteousness means perfect love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. Upright, beyond limitations, that is the kingdom. What naturally emerges or emanates are all these things added onto you, spontaneously. But what about the things that the individual desired? A desire emerged. Like, for example, in Think and Grow Rich, he said, the desire is the definite chief aim. Well, that also happens spontaneously without resistance. So, interesting. Spontaneously, the symbols of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment are added onto you as they represent you being already that. You may have these thoughts or that thoughts appearing in mind, that's okay. At times you may identify with it, that's okay. Emotions may arise and subside, that's okay. You are still that prior to. You are still love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. Not trying to be love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment emotionally, like forcing yourself to feel that. Not trying to deny the evidence of the senses. Just by abiding as you are, naturally what happens is what we can point to and say, denying the evidence of the senses. But really, it's the individual not identifying with thoughts of limitations as they know who they are. I know where I spring from, that sure foundation of being already that which I desire to be. As mentioned, God, the self, fulfillment, desire, intention are one. To suggest that they're separate is to imply that there's separation. And there is no separation in the kingdom of heaven. And the kingdom of heaven is found in the silence. What is known in the silence is that still I am presence, the presence of God. And as you abide in that still I am presence, mind is purified. All these things spontaneously happen. What you desired spontaneously happens. All these things spontaneously happen, which are symbols of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. And in relation to what appears, environments, behaviors, capability, if you imagine anything in relation to it, you naturally imagine from the premise of being fulfilled. So if the individual is about to become identified, they can, and perhaps we'll do a discussion of this in the book, the Kabbalion, they refer to this as neutralization, which essentially means, as we're talking about it here, knowing who you are and abiding as you are. So rather than forcing yourself to deny the evidence of the senses or conjure up a feeling and forcing yourself to identify with it, you return to the silence, which we can call neutral point. But interesting thing about the silence or neutral point, the natural fragrance of that neutral point are the thoughts of, as stated in Philippians 4:8, whatsoever things are true, lovely, good rapport, they naturally appear in mind. The feeling of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment permeates the body, and yes, emotions regulate or transform, but I don't try to transform them naturally as a result of what they refer to as neutralization or that neutral point. Also, body naturally flows to be in harmony. So from that neutral point, what spontaneously arises is flow, or thoughts of harmony, or emotions regulating, etc. Witnessing environments appear to transform, behaviors appear to transform, capabilities appear to transform, including mind purification. As mentioned, the personal identity appears to transform. God does everything. By abiding as you are, all these things happen naturally and spontaneously. That's what I mean by everything appears as you are. That is the you that I refer to. It is the eternal you, the everlasting you, the absolute you, the supreme you, witnessing consciousness bliss as your real nature, as all these things appear to transform. Thy will be done. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So I trust you found this video to be helpful. Let's conclude this with an auto-suggestion to further encourage. You could say, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, as I know that I am that unconditional love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. All these things appear to transform as I know that I am that pure awareness. Body naturally flows. The evidence of the senses appear to be in harmony. Emotions naturally flow. Thoughts naturally flow. Body naturally flows. Environments naturally flow. Behaviors, capabilities, all appear to flow and transform to be in harmony, as existence is enough. Presence is enough. Being as I am is enough now. If you would like a copy of this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk with you soon. Take care.